All right, are you guys ready to play golf on autopilot? And this is going to be very interesting because you know how much you guys, I talk about hands, talk about compound pivot, etc. And we're going to get into how to make the golf swing happen by the reflexes of the feet and the body responding, and we're going to have passive hands, but they're going to be like flails. So stick tuned with this one, stay tuned with this one, and we'll get us rocking and rolling, okay? So if you like this, like and subscribe, share, go to rkswingking.com. We're gonna do Zoom lessons and memberships. Here we go. So talked about how, the last time about the grip. So this is the part 2 of this. So once you get your grip correct, and the hands can now be placed without any tension here, like so, now you can move the golf club without any massive hand and arm action, and the golf club can now swing freely. And you'll notice it's like a pendulum. Now how that's going to be moved first is through the feet. All right, so you take it and you're going to go through the feet. Now here's what happens. So when you feel the right foot rolls to the target, which pushes the pressure on the left foot then rebounds and moves the golf club away. Now the hands that go along for the ride with the turning of the torso, and the arm is going to stay connected to the body. Now when that happens, from here the wrist will automatically come up over the shoulder and in the correct position from here. Okay, so this is not an independent hand action. Once you learn how to move the hands correctly like so, then you focus on rotation. And rotation is not like this. That is not a turn first. The reason why, and you all can play with me, there's not a person on the planet, if you turn your body and keep this leg the same flex, that the head doesn't move off the ball. This leg stays bent here, then this is what people will do. They'll have to wind up and the head has to move off the ball. It's literally, if you wind the leg up and keep your head on center, your pelvis will go behind you, like this. Can you see that? See where it goes over here? And I've got quite a few students that are having this problem. So anytime your butt goes over here, your head's gonna go over here. So you have to shift. Now how you shift is through the feet. Okay, that's what foot rolls, pushes the knee, and pushes the pelvis over to the side. When you do this, your weight is on your right leg. This is not a sway. You have to have this first. There's one weight on my right leg. That's the only way to keep your head on center. Once you do this, then the shift happens, okay? Now, once the shift happens here, then the turn. Shift, turn. The arm stays right connected in front of the body. So the hands, and I see a lot of this, once you train your hands, we don't want you to keep doing this, because once you start winding up the body with this, now you'll start to be able to feel the weight shifting left, and the hands will be like flails. Now what I want you to understand that is, if I'm throwing a ball and I wind it up and my hand is soft and passive and I throw, I'm still using muscle in my arm to do this. It's really, this flipping, flinging thing is quite difficult to talk about. And I kind of want to do it a little bit with left and right so you guys can clearly see. So this, I'm shifting over, not just turning, shifting, and you see how my arm is relaxed. Now, when I'm shifting, my hand and arm is just going along for the ride here. If I pull my arm down, that's muscle doing it. So when I'm here, watch the flipping slash flinging of this. So when I shift, that's all because of the shift. Now the faster I shift and push my right foot, roll my right foot to push my left foot down, the faster that my arm is progressed to here, and then the club whips. Compared to even being here and then trying to do it with muscle. So you can clearly see that slower and hitting at the ball. That's what I want. That's the speed that I want, okay? And I know that looks weird, retarded, I get it, so not to offend anybody. So when I get up here, right there like this, okay? And I shift over, my hands and arms are just flying. Can you see how that is different? And I'm gonna put a golf club to it now. And I'll show you the difference between being here, even the compound pivot correctly, and doing it with muscle, okay? And then up here, and now doing it with just relaxed hands and arms. And you can hear the speed difference, okay? Because this is happening faster, right? So when that's happening faster, it's because my hands and arms are passive. Now, but as long as your grip is correct, anatomically, like we talked about, then you can make the shift, then the arms can go. And I see a lot of people, I've talked about the arm and all that, and rotation. It's hard to get in this position. The reason why it's hard to get in this position because this has to turn. Well, it can't just turn. This has to shift, and then the turn happens. So look how much further my golf club goes back, and when I shift, now the weight's going left, and then unwinding. See, so that's a totally different deal, okay? Okay, so why is that important? Because what I see a lot of, and so not everybody has to do this little hierarchy. Some people do. Once you train your hands to move in this circle, and the butt of the club points at the ball and points at the club of the ball, and that is correct. And that is using hand action to do that and the club swinging to do that. So once you get this down, then you can let it go along with the body, and you'll see that this golf club is still pointed at the golf ball right here, and the hands are just what I call passive or soft. I have quite a few people that are, if I was going to say two things that happens, is most people, they either twist their body this way, but their arm usually collapses into their body, and the left shoulder stays over here on the left side. This shoulder has to get over here to your right side while your head's on center for it to be a circle. How do you do that? You have to have the shift happen here and then the turn. Once that shift happens and then the turn, now you'll have, see how my head's on center and my arm keeps the width? This is the holy grail here that everybody wants, and it's achieved that way. Now some people can achieve it by hand action and swinging the hands over the shoulders and keeping the width, and then that allowed rotation to happen. That is what I call active hands to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if that's you and you're hitting it great, keep doing it. All right, so I have some clients that get here and they'll take the club back wide and then they collapse the hand and arm this way. And what that is this stops moving. So you can practice it putting the golf club out in front of you here, but feeling the foot. Can you see how my foot moves and my knee moves? So my knee is going like out towards the golf ball, which pushes my pelvis over and back, and that allows my body to turn like so. So that's how you get good rotation, easy on the spine, all right? Anatomically correct, okay? So doesn't mean that you can't keep your knee the same flex and get the golf club back and turn the shoulder, but now you see how my head's off the ball, right? So my body don't even like that. And that's not a circle. So this pelvis being pushed over and up by the foot rolling is what allows that to happen. Now, watch my feet. There's still two shifts before the club moves away. Still ground pressure. So right foot rolls first, because if you start from a dead standstill, you have to use muscle to move the golf club. So right foot rolls first, puts pressure in the left. Left foot rolls the club away. So watch, it goes right. Can you see how the left foot already is rolling and then the club is responding? So when I get up here towards the top, if you notice, my right foot is already rolling and pushing me back left to create torque, the ground pressure, and then release. So you still have all three of those, and it comes from this walking motion, and you can clearly see how my arms go along for the ride, like so. And that allows the biggest turn, Okay, so for those of you that want to do this with passive hands, that's the best that I can tell you to do. And then you'll start to feel this natural release of the golf club instead of having to actually try to hit the ball with the hands and arms. All right, I hope that helps. Come see me at rkswingking.com for Zoom lessons and memberships where I do video analysis and then make personal videos for you. All right, everybody have a great day.